Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleashed here today, and we are back with another video on Sonic Frontiers. And in today's video, we have an interview with Kishimoto and Iizuka. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take a look at the news at hand onto Game Informer with Sonic Rush. How Sonic Frontiers' open zone and cyberspace evolved the franchise. I've been in the Sonic team for 19 years now, and I do want to say that we have constantly learned from our successes and failures, not just the previously released Sonic Forces, but in every Sonic title we have ever worked on, he says. Now with 32 years of Sonic development experience with us, I am putting all my experiential learnings to practice in the development of this game. Selectively, only speaking about the learnings from Sonic Forces, I believe we learned that the method of designing stages with specific game mechanics, which all started with Sonic Unleashed, where we have short stages, pull back on Sonic speed a bit, and implement new actions for Sonic in the title, is no longer going to satisfy the expectations of either our Sonic fans or those who like stage-clear action games. Oh no, this sounds like they're learning the wrong lessons again. For God's sakes man, come on. The reason we didn't like Forces wasn't because it was a boost game or just had levels, it was because it was garbage, man. The level design was not good at all. We saw with Unleashed, Generations, and to some sort of extent Colors that the boost gameplay works with good level design, and we liked it, so that wasn't really the problem with Forces, that it was just a boost game. The problem was that it had garbage level design. That is why. Come on, Kishimoto. God damn. One of the responses to this lesson was to create big, open areas in which players spend hours exploring, solving puzzles, fighting bosses, and collecting items. Not only does this approach shake up the pacing of the traditional Sonic the Hedgehog formula, but extends the playtime. Another criticism Sonic team, creative officer Takashi Iizuka, had coming out of Forces. As such, Iizuka believes Sonic Frontiers is the longest mainline Sonic game to date. Whenever we work on the concept for a new game, we always refer to the reaction of the previous games and user feedback, so there are a lot of lessons. One of them will be playthrough time, Iizuka says. The playthrough times ended up being short for the previous games, but due to the open zone and other factors, there's been a substantial improvement this time. That is good. That is very good. That was one of my biggest issues with Sonic games from the last, let's say, since Colors, I want to say? Yeah, since Colors. That they were just way too short, like 3 hours. 3 hours for a video game, like seriously, that is way too short. So I'm happy to see that actually making it longer with Frontiers. That is good. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead in the interview here because obviously some of it we've pretty much heard before, nothing really interesting about it. The open zone format allows the developers, and by extension, the players, to take advantage of the two most important elements of Sonic games, at least according to Iizuka. That is running through areas at high speeds and finding discoveries and surprises by traveling through the area in the way you want to. In 2D Sonic, players headed to the right, and in 3D Sonic, players headed deeper into the screen, Iizuka says. In the open zone style, there are infinite confirmed. Okay, I'm sorry. There are infinite directions, and the player can choose which way they want to go. Iizuka says the biggest challenge was breaking free of the gameplay molds of past games and making sure the world is fun to explore at high speeds. We've been building high-speed action on a path for more than 20 years, so it wasn't easy to get rid of it, Iizuka says. For example, it's like taking F1 racing and getting rid of the course to drive in a wide, flat plane. That wouldn't be any fun, would it? So in the early stages of the project, we kept creating the island terrain where the game would be set over and over, in search of the ideal open zone. In my past conversations with Iizuka, he lamented how the team would work hard to design environments in the linear Sonic stages, only to have players run through them in a couple of minutes or less, an unavoidable side effect of having a game based on speed. This became a sticking point in the early 2000s, as design became more intensive in the transition from 2D to 3D, sprite work giving way to fully realised polygonal design, added a lot of time to the stage creation process, with players running through the environments just as quickly in many cases. During my hands-on time with Frontiers, the open zone format seems to be a remedy for that previous problem, as one enormous environment plays host to dozens of destinations and objectives and hundreds of collectibles. My foray into Sonic Frontiers' open zone concept was on Kronos Island, one of the Starfall Islands. Though this first island kicks off your adventure, Iizuka assures me we'll visit all the Starfall Islands before the Sonic Frontiers story comes to a close. Throughout the adventure, players experience various biomes and environments, which isn't uncommon in a Sonic game. However, these areas house a lot more content thanks to Frontiers' open zone twist. Transitioning to this gameplay style is a massive undertaking, but ensuring Sonic controls well in an open area is another thing entirely. We've seen him control poorly in games like Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Come on man, really? Can we not go one interview without one mention of 06? Like, come on, what the hell? And to be honest with you, 06 didn't even control terribly, it was just a bit too precise and didn't have any momentum. It didn't control poorly. If you want poorly controlling games, look at Sonic Forces for crying out loud. But the risk is amplified with Sonic Frontiers as grammar mistake, not supposed to be an S there, haha. Why do I do this every single time? Just why? Why? Approach to the hub world. Thankfully, I enjoyed my time dashing through the open zone of Kronos Island. Sonic has the right weight for speed and exploration, and he doesn't slide around like in previous games. Even the more methodical platforming sequences could have vastly improved over previous titles. During the initial gameplay reveal of Sonic Frontiers, many criticised the apparent emptiness of the open zone. It makes sense in the vacuum of those clips, but when you're running with the speed of Sonic, the spacing of enemies and obstacles makes sense. Games like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Elden Ring masterfully space out their encounters but feature a much denser world than Sonic Frontiers' early public footage. However, when you consider how much faster Sonic runs through the environment, the spacing works out. I found the time to encounter, or time to discovery, to be well paced in my few hours with an early build. Yeah, honestly, it makes sense why Frontiers is going to have a lot of open spaces with nothing really in them, because it's a Sonic game. We can't be stopping every 5 seconds just to fight an enemy or something, because it's a Sonic game. We need at least some time to actually experience the speed of Sonic Frontiers. If we're going to be stopping every 5 seconds in Sonic Frontiers, that is really just going to break the pace of the game, and honestly, it's going to get quite annoying. The main destination for many will be the Cyberspace stages. These linear action stages, which you access through marked portals in the open zone, offer experiences that veer much closer to the traditional 3D action stages of past Sonic titles. In fact, the Cyberspace stages are themed after levels from previous Sonic games like Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and more recent titles like Sonic Unleashed. While the appeal of stages like Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant Zone seem timeless, fans have experienced them in several recent games, including Generations, Mania, and Forces. While games like Generations and Mania serve as celebrations of Sonic's past, Izuka's justification for having these zones and others from the past appears in Sonic Frontiers is that the cyberspace levels pull from Sonic's memories. While the open zone areas are perhaps the biggest selling point of Frontiers, Sonic Team wanted to focus on the quality of these cyberspace stages over the course of development. When we started the project as we were developing the title, and even now as we are looking to release this title out to the world, there was one reason we were doing it: to once again have Sonic stand amongst the other stage clear action games, Kishimoto says. I am talking about games like the Super Mario, Donkey Kong, and Kirby franchises that I personally loved, and Genesis era Sonic the Hedgehog stood alongside those titles. This is, of course, not a simple thing to do, but rather very difficult to actualize. But that is exactly the challenge that we, the Sonic team, have taken up on this project. Since the traditional cyberspace stages are seen as driving forces in the gameplay, players should expect to leave the open zone area of the title to experience these levels. Still, Kishimoto teases other ways of advancing through the game if you prefer the open zone areas. The adoption of the open zone game mechanic allowed us to evolve the format for stage clear action games, while at the same time allowing us to deliver a wide variety of gameplay, he says. Including the traditional linear gameplay inside of the open zone format is definitely a very important point, but it's not the de facto playstyle. In order to progress through Sonic Frontiers, you can choose to strategically play the traditional linear gameplay as one way of advancing, but it's not absolutely necessary, so depending on your playstyle, the amount you want to engage with that gameplay is up to you. Alright, that is actually pretty interesting. So, cyberspace is essentially just optional. You can essentially just get through the game without touching cyberspace once then, which is pretty interesting. How else would you get portal keys then? Because the reason you actually go to cyberspace is to get the portal keys that unlock the Chaos Emeralds from some vault thing, so that means there must be another way to get portal keys. Interesting. While the development team is seemingly downplaying the role of the open zone as little more than an interactive hub world, the open zone of Kronos Island took most of my session. While in the world, I explored every nook and cranny I could, solved many puzzles, completed various challenges, sped through various obstacle courses, and gathered various collectibles. Of course, much was in service of progressing through the main storyline, which often asked me to return to the cyberspace stages, but those levels are quick hit and fast paced, more focused on getting through it efficiently than thoroughly combing the area. Cyberspace also curiously houses other characters. For instance, I progressed through multiple missions in the open zone involving freeing Amy from cyberspace. Meanwhile, another pocket of cyberspace has everyone's favourite cat, Big, hosting a fishing minigame, letting you earn currency for his in-game shop. The secrets of cyberspace only deepened the longer I played, but they all felt more in support of the big open zones during the 3+ hours I spent with the title. The more I played, the more I enjoyed the various gameplay loops of seeking out boss battles in the open zone, entering cyberspace to complete action-packed stages, and returning to the open zone to claim my new Chaos Emerald. If you play Sonic Frontiers and enjoy the open zone format, there's good news, as it could very well be the series' direction going forward. To evolve the linear stage clearing 3D action that began with Sonic Adventure in 1998 and create a game that would be the cornerstone of future Sonic games, that was the goal when we started Sonic Frontiers, Iizuka says. With Sonic Team clearly hoping to change the formula and course of the Sonic franchise with this newest title, I'm excited to get more time with the game ahead of launch. Sonic Frontiers comes to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch and PC later this year. Anyways, that brings it for today's video. So to summarize, basically, Cyberspace is optional. It seems that Sonic Team are taking some of the wrong lessons from Forces, which is annoying, man, really annoying. Frontiers is going to be the longest Sonic game to date, and I think that's about it. There wasn't really anything new in this article, honestly, it's just most of the things we just heard, but still some interesting things. But what do you guys think of all of this news? Let me know down below. Love to see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed by hitting that join button down below. And remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace!